Hello, this is David Bays with Bays Boat Rental. We're doing an instructional video on the best way to get a small boat up on step using trim tabs and trim on the engine. There's a few different components we're going to reference as we do this. One is the speed readout on the GPS. Another is the RPM sent by the TAC to the engine control screen. Another is the trim up and down on the engine itself. And then the most important one is the trim tab control. To control these trim tabs, to retract them, press down. To extend them, you press forward. And those work like the flaps on an airplane to create lift. So what we'll do before we try and take off, we're going to extend both trim tabs all the way down. So you can press them together. I count to about 5 in my head as I do that. You can typically hear the tone of them change when they're fully extended. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that on the video, but they just hit that point. So those are good. We'll also trim the engine all the way down. Just press and hold. Again, you can typically hear the tone of the engine change when it hits and bottoms out. Or count to about 5 seconds. So now that we have trim tabs all the way extended, engine all the way down, we'll take off. So what we'll do is run the engine up to about 5,000 RPMs now. If you have passengers on the boat with you, ideally you'd want to have them in the cabin with you while you were doing this. That helps the boat to get up on step more quickly. So we'll keep increasing RPM until we hit about 5,000. Then we can adjust engine trim and trim tabs to get our maximum speed and fuel efficiency. In this style of boat, we get our maximum speed and fuel efficiency by having the bow as high as we can have it. Depending on how many people you have on board, you may not be able to reach quite 5,000 RPMs at this step. So here we are at about 5,000. The boat is leveled out, but the bow is pretty far down, and so it's plowing a lot of water. That means the engine's working really hard, and it's affecting our speed. You can see the fuel economy isn't great at the moment, and the speed is lackluster as well. So what we're going to do now is retract the trim tabs and tilt the engine up. We're going to do that without ever touching the throttle again. So as we retract, try to run both switches together at the same time. That keeps the boat level. And you can see as we do it, the splashing on the bow starts to go away as the bow lifts up, and you start to see huge increases in speed on the GPS. Additionally, at the same time, once we get up and running here, we'll see our fuel economy improve. Okay, so now we're up and we need to adjust. We want to cruise at around 4,800 RPMs. So we'll keep easing the throttle back till we hit around 4,800. So there we're there. Fuel economy is much better. Speed is good. We can improve the speed a little bit more by trimming the engine up. Just 1 second or so at a time, pressing the up button. Then if you have the engine up too high, you'll hear it start to cavitate, or the boat might start to porpoise. If that happens, you can press the engine back down a little bit to level things out. Looks like we're going against quite a bit of tide here. But that's the basic way to do it. The only time that you would want the bow back down while you were running is if you were running into a steep chop. In that scenario, having the bow down helps the boat to cut through the waves. So if you want to do that, you would simply extend the trim tabs again, and as we look out the window, you'll see that it starts to throw up more spray. But that's having an effect again on our speed. Fuel efficiency doesn't seem to have changed much. But it makes us go slower. So if the water is nice, or if the waves are from behind you, you want to have the trim tabs retracted, the engine tilted up a little bit. That gives you your best bang for your buck on performance. Thanks for watching.